news, we would like to show you a newly released video about the Hollywood Ten and Blacklisting. Enjoy!
Major events have occurred recently. Currently, the Soviet Union and the U.S. are in conflict in the Cold War. Many people in the U.S. are debating the roles of government and individual rights. Support for communism has been increasing because many are beginning to view the Soviet Union as helpful with fighting against Nazi Germany, allowing it to gain more popularity in the West. Now, some U.S. policymakers have decided that the Soviet Union is not an ally and instead an enemy of the U.S. This has raised questions about the loyalty of people who view the Soviet Union as an ideal society favoring communism rather than the Western ideology. The intensity is increasing, and the Red Scare has forced the Truman administration to initiate a process to identify an uprooting of communism in the government.
During the Cold War, anti-communist legislators grew concerned that the movie industry could serve as a source of communist propaganda and political commentary. 10 Hollywood actors made a propaganda film in specific targeting just that. The 10 actors were labeled as the Hollywood 10, and because of their film, they were convicted in federal court of contempt of Congress and were given sentences between 6 months to a year in prison. They refused to work with ongoing investigations or answer any questions regarding their communist affiliations after serving their prison time. They also continued to denounce the anti-communist hearings and accused them of taking away their First Amendment rights. The group was severely blacklisted because of this by the film industry. Most were never again employed in Hollywood or any films.
During the Cold War, a number of Americans believed that their nation's security depended on preventing the spread of communism inside their own country, and this attitude created an atmosphere of fear and suspicion in many parts of the country. Many people thought that any communist sympathizers could be spies sent from the Soviet Union, and thought that they all should be jailed and punished. FBI Director J. Edgar Hoover was quick to equate any kind of protest with communist affiliation, including the civil rights demonstrations led by Martin Luther King Jr. Hoover labeled King a communist and constantly worked to intimidate and discredit the civil rights leader. One of the pioneering efforts to investigate communist activities took place in the U.S. House of Representatives, where the House of Un-American Activities Committee was formed in 1938. HUAC's investigations frequently focused on exposing communists working inside the federal government, or people working in the Hollywood film industry. In fear of hiring communist spies, movie executives created blacklists that banned suspected radicals from being hired. Similar lists were also present in other industries.
The result of the blacklisting was very evident in many people's careers. Actors and directors had a harder time finding work because they could not simply change their name or act under a false name like screenwriters and producers. Hundreds of promising actors' careers were ended because of the blacklisting. A famous actor named Mickey Knox was one of these victims. He had a promising career before the list, having starred in multiple big-budget films. When he was found to be a supporter of the Communist Party, however, his name was never heard of again in the Hollywood film industry. However, some people's careers were saved by fixers, like Warren Bond. These fixers would unofficially pardon actors and directors and producers so that they could get into the work industry again. The covering up of the blacklist was unsuccessful because many bitter victims, especially actors and screenwriters, wrote personal memoirs, recollections, and films about their experiences and how their careers were ruined, and then discreetly swept under the rug. After these stories were posted, the Hollywood 10 were referred to as rebels and nonconformists. It is still considered one of the biggest scandal stories in the U.S. film industry today.
Overall, the Hollywood 10 have made a very large impact on the U.S. for many reasons. Not only have the Hollywood 10 gotten blacklisted, but they have also led to more blacklistings among the entertainment industry. Many more people, such as musicians and actors, have been affected by this, and many are wondering who's next. Regardless if you are a communist or not, if you sympathize with them, you will be blacklisted if you are suspected of being a Soviet Union spy. This makes it rather difficult for those in the industry to find work and usually destroys their career. Many people will never recover from the recent blacklist, and I'm sure many more are to come. So, be careful as to which side you support.
Bye, and thanks for watching!
Bye. This makes it rather difficult for those in the industry to find work and usually destroys their career. Many people will never are suspected of being a Soviet spy. This makes it rather difficult for people to find work. If you sympathize them,